Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
6 people are shot. 2 of them are dead in a series of Tuesday night attacks. We recap Rockford's most violent night of the year.
Violence is not liberal or conservative. These are children. These are young people that are dying.
Victim advocates say Forest City crime isn't a political issue. Community members believe it will take coming together to keep the city safe. Plus, a Rockford teen killed more than 3 decades ago is honored at the last place she was seen alive. We'll give you a sneak peek of the Park District's tribute to Tammy Tracy. Good evening, I'm Eric Wilson. Mimi Murphy is off tonight. Police are kept busy Tuesday as shots rang out across Rockford. 3 separate attacks left 2 men dead and 4 other victims hurt. The first shooting took place around 5:30 yesterday afternoon on Jonathan Avenue. Investigators say 3 men entered a home and shot and killed a 28-year-old man. Then around 7:45, officers were called to Sherman Avenue, where they say a 16-year-old boy was hurt in a drug deal. And less than 1 hour later, 4 people were shot on Independence Avenue. A 38-year-old man died at a local hospital. The other 3 were badly hurt. At this point, Rockford police do not believe the 3 incidents are connected. Family members identify one of the men killed last night as Louis Lee. Home security cameras were recording during the attack on Jonathan Avenue. Lee's wife tells Rachel Perry the woman was there when her husband was killed. Rachel.
Eric, I do want to warn the viewers, this video coming up may be disturbing to some. His wife tells me the men walked right in the front door and immediately started shooting. At one point she thought they left, but instead they fired even more shots. Dozens of gunshots ring out at a Rockford home.
He was a family person. He wasn't really for this type of stuff, you know.
Tyshima McIntosh Lee tells me she was at the house on Jonathan Tuesday evening when her husband Louis Lee was killed.
Yeah, it did happen real fast. It was weird. They just opened up my door and just got to shooting. At first they left back out because I thought they left. And then they came back in and started shooting again.
Home security footage shows 3 men walk up to the door and begin shooting. You can hear one telling someone to stay down.
Stay down. Stay down. Stay down.
And then yelling to get out.
Y'all already shot him the first time when y'all came in and shot at him the first time. So why would you come back in? Like, that's stupid.
Tyshima has nothing to say to the people responsible for her husband's death.
I don't want to talk to them. I mean, I wish it never happened. And then all the other incidents that happened in the same night that happened with him. So.
But she will remember Louis as the life of the party.
He was a happy person. He liked the party. I can say he liked the party. He used to act like he didn't like the party, but he liked the party.
Rockford police tell me they do not have any updates on the shooters at this time. If you have any information or recognize anyone in that video, contact the police or Crime Stoppers. At 6, Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara tells us what he hopes will stop the violence. Eric?
Thanks, Rachel. By sundown last night, Rockford Police Chief Carla Redd called in extra officers to help with additional shooting scenes like the incident on Sherman Avenue. 19-year-old Tyree Isom is accused of shooting a 16-year-old boy there. Police say Isom tried to buy marijuana from the other teenager. That led to an argument. According to court records, the 16-year-old fired at Isom while Isom was sitting in his car. Isom shot back and hit the boy in the leg. They both ran off. Police found Isom and a gun they say he hid in a barbecue grill. He's charged with unlawful use of a weapon. Next, officers were called to South Independence Avenue, where they found 3 men hit by bullets, a 38, 35, and 30-year-old, all with serious injuries. A while later, a 36-year-old man walked into a local hospital. He was badly hurt, too. The 38-year-old victim passed away from his injuries this morning. No word on how the others are doing. Investigators have not released information on a suspect in this shooting. They say this seems to be a targeted attack. The Rockford community is shaken after last night's violence. Many people are afraid for their family safety, especially children. Michelle Rave spoke with a local pastor and a victim advocate. Michelle, they agree this violence needs to stop.
Everyone agrees the violence needs to end. One local pastor I spoke with says the way in which we tackle the violence needs to change in order to prevent kids from dying from gun violence.
This is not this type of city that we deserve or that we need to settle for. And the truth of the matter is, when you look at it in context, it's not just a Rockford issue, it's an American issue.
K. Edward Copeland says the violence in Rockford is out of control.
We need to drive down the murder rate through proven strategic interventions that have been proven to work.
The senior pastor at New Zion Missionary Baptist Church says the best time to act is now.
We need a sustained effort at not only getting guns out of people's hands and stopping the flow of illegal guns and all those types of things, but these strategies that will divert our young people away from a life of violence.
The city has a juvenile enhanced response team.
Step Up very specifically is intended to provide intense support to juveniles and families who become involved early in the criminal justice system. We've completed one round of that organizational programming, and it was very successful.
Jennifer Cachapalia is a local victims advocate and says this issue is top of mind.
Programs to interrupt youth violence are critical to Winnebago County. We have to link arms together as a community and develop some new innovative strategies to prevent juvenile violent crime.
Pastor Copeland worries if nothing changes, the problem will only get worse.
Got to take the partisanship out of it, because we're talking about saving our children's lives.
Now, Pastor Copeland recommends people reach out to their local state representatives to hear their plans on gun violence prevention. Eric.
Thanks, Michelle. A recent spike in violent crime isn't just an issue in the Forest City. It's being seen across Illinois. State lawmakers are looking at ways to crack down on criminals. Republicans rolled out ideas to improve public safety. The group calls for tougher prison sentences for shooters with a record of violent crime. Urbana resident Carrie Pettigrew got out on parole in July. Last month, police arrested Pettigrew and accused him of shooting a store clerk.
Mr. Pettigrew was on a 31-year sentence to the Department of Corrections. He was paroled after serving just 18 years, and 2 months later is alleged to have shot a clerk at that Circle K after 10 months before that, robbing a different gas station in town.
We'll have more on the calls for a stricter, simpler sentencing standard for violent gun crimes tonight at 10. Tributes are unveiled honoring Tammy Tracy, a Rockford teenager murdered decades ago. Her family and Rockford Park District representatives are at Searles Park now. Alexis Carpello explains Tracy's connection to the park.
A new memorial stands at the front of Searles Park honoring Tammy Tracy. Tracy was just 19 when she was brutally murdered more than 3 decades ago. She was last seen here at Searles Park. Today, the Rockford Park District and Tracy's family welcomed this sign as a way to never forget the Forest City teen. Now those that drive past will also remember her. The sign is located off of Safford Road.
Every single person that drives through this park, every single person that finds out how to get to Searles is going to forever see the name Tammy Tracy and learn about her and the amazing things she brought to our lives.
Jesse Smith is charged with killing Tracy. He still sits in the Winnebago County Jail. His next court date is set in November. Coming up at 6, hear from Tracy's family and what this sign really means to them. Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Alexis Carpello.
Throughout October, Illinois will celebrate manufacturing companies based here. One of those is Chicago Magnesium Casting Company in Dixmoor, which just announced 40 new jobs. This is the 40th Illinois manufacturer to expand this year. The Pritzker administration says manufacturing is a leading driver in Illinois' economy. Companies provide more than $100 billion of annual economic output. 18,000 manufacturers call the land of Lincoln home. There are thousands of additional jobs on the way.
We want to make sure Illinoisans are ready for those jobs, and companies in this space have the access to the infrastructure, the talent, and the training needed to see a long future here in Illinois.
Manufacturing Month offers Illinois a chance to recognize the contributions of Illinois' manufacturing firms, the makers they employ, and the crucial role the industry plays in the state's economy. A donation to a local organization shows the power of community. Weldom Electronics Incorporated gave $10,000 to Rockford's Booker Washington Center. The donation means the African American Community Center can continue creating an uplifting environment for the Rockford area. Weldom COO Chris Lorette says one of the company's core values is supporting its neighbors.
We're right down the street a couple blocks, and we're just happy that we were able to donate this and support the community to help not only the folks that are here, but to help people that may come work for us one day to keep growing the community even further.
The U.S. Congress recognizes the Booker Washington Center as the oldest African American community center in Illinois. We'll hear what the donation means to the center tonight at 6.
Well, good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Marcus Walter here, and we're talking about today weather-wise because we started out with a lot of clouds and even some patchy fog out there, but we're ending the day actually with a good amount of sunshine, and you can see that on the Mercy F Skytrack weather camera showing downtown Rockford. You can see the shadows on the street right there, a sign of just the bright conditions that are out there. While we have some clearing taking place now, we are expecting more clouds as we head throughout the evening and even some rain showers. And that brings us to the day planner because it does show that clouds start to move back in as we head toward 8 p.m. And even for those of you south of Rockford, let's say if you're in Rochelle, you're still dealing with clouds. But we're talking about showers potentially moving in, light and isolated showers as we head toward 10 p.m. and even hours after that. And that will lead into a wet Thursday. So as we talk about the rain chances going forward, here's a look at this map. It shows that we likely will deal with scattered rain showers as we head toward 11 a.m. tomorrow, and then potentially some heavier rain after that, or at least rain becoming more probable. Then as we head throughout really the next 8 hours or so, we're talking about more wet weather in the form of scattered rain showers, and then we keep rain in the forecast all the way through Friday, but we do notice a change. By the time we get to Friday evening, we are talking about drier weather conditions. But as we take a look at the satellite and radar, it shows some of that clearing that took place across much of our viewing area, pretty much from areas just north of Rochelle, farther north. But if you're in Amboy or really in Rochelle, you're still dealing with some of that cloud cover. Now, as we take you throughout the next couple of hours, clouds are out there. This particular model holding off on some of the isolated rain we have been forecasting, but I still suspect we'll deal with a few spotty showers, and we see more rain as we head into Thursday morning, and you can see that really across our region and also just south of the region with some heavier rain. Now, this is one model's perspective, but it is letting you know that rain showers are in the forecast. We're talking about more rain potentially out there as we head toward Thursday afternoon, and then eventually some breaks in that wet weather, but still wet weather generally in the forecast. That continues into Friday morning, and then we're talking about quieter weather after that. Now, how much rain are we expecting? Well, some areas could pick up more than a ½ inch of rain. We're looking at that for Rochelle, Freeport, Galena, Savannah, but this has been fluctuating, so it really depends on where the rain falls. So it's something we will continue to follow. And as we talk about what's happening and why we're dealing with this wet weather, we have this swirl more or less rotating right across the middle of the country. That's an area of low pressure that will continue to track north. And as it does so, it will bring us the rain threat as we head into tonight and then continue into Thursday and even into early Friday. But as we look ahead to the weekend after the rain, we're talking about heat building once again, and temperatures will feel or reach into the low 80s, making it feel a lot more like summer than fall. But as we talk about your forecast for tonight, temperatures down to 63 degrees. It will be warm for this time of year. Tomorrow we're talking about temperatures near 72 degrees with scattered rain showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. And the 7-day forecast shows that. We have wet weather in the forecast for Thursday and Friday. We are warm and dry for the weekend, a great weekend to be out and about. But our next rain threat arrives as we head toward Monday.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
Well, somebody's gotten through to Matt Nagy at Hallis Hall. Maybe it's his assistant coaches, maybe it's the players, perhaps it's Ryan Pace. But this morning, Nagy finally let go of the idea that Andy Dalton, if healthy, is the #1 quarterback. Instead, Justin Fields will be the #1 guy for the remainder of the season.
The plan and the process that we had going into this was important to understand. And then when Andy unfortunately got hurt with his knee, that sped the process up. That sped the plan up. And so I've always said from the beginning to everybody in here, to our players, coaches, to y'all when y'all ask, is that we'll know And he's done everything to show us that he's ready for this opportunity.
I'd say I was a little bit surprised. After it happened yesterday, Andy called me on the way home, and he just told me it was a great opportunity for me, and that he'd be here, for it all, for everything I needed, and he just didn't want it to be awkward.
The other big sports news out of Chicago concerns the White Sox. Tony La Russa has named Lance Lynn the Sox Game 1 starter for tomorrow's game in Houston. Lynn won 11 games during the regular season. Tony La Russa has been a part of 3 World Series championship teams in his career, yet he still gets nervous for these big games.
I've been nervous my whole career. One of the reasons, first game of spring training, first game opening day. Like right now, I'm nervous because I care. We care.
It's definitely do or die for the Cardinals tonight. They'll take on the Dodgers in the National League wild card game. 40-year-old Adam Wainwright will get the start. He'll need to be sharp because Max Scherzer will be throwing for the Dodgers.
In a way, there's so much momentum that goes with each and every start that's in the postseason. I treat them all like a win or go home. I've tried to do that with every start in my whole career. Also, just treat it with that same level of urgency.
That's sports. We'll be right back.
Marcus will have a final look at weather in a moment, but first, here's what's ahead on News Nation.
Alarming new details from the CIA about what happened to dozens of spies that has counterintelligence officials questioning their recruitment tactics. Tonight, a former CIA officer weighs in. That's On Balance. Now here's a look at Dan Abrams Live.
Thanks, Leland. Tonight on Dan Abrams Live. A governor leaves the state and his number 2 goes rogue. Her power trip with vaccines and the border crisis. Now her boss fires back on Twitter. That's coming up tonight on Dan Abrams Live.
You can catch News Nation on cable and satellite stations you see listed here. You can also head to newsnation.com.
And as we take a look at the first Warren Interactive Radar brought to you by Rockford Auto Glass and More, it shows that we're quiet across the state line, but we are looking at a limited rain threat as we head throughout the night tonight. And as we take a look at the 7-day forecast, we are talking about more wet weather out there for Thursday and even into Friday, quieter Friday evening, and then beautiful warm weather for the weekend, something you can look forward to.
And not even much of a cool down next week. Thanks, Marcus. Stay safe.